love, war, and a secret that could shatter a family forever. The new Episode 3 trailer for Outlander, Blood of My Blood, has finally arrived, and every frame feels like it's hiding something. There's tension in every glance, danger in every shadow, and the kind of heartbreak that only Outlander can deliver. But beneath the surface, this is more than just a love story, it's a battle for loyalty, for truth, and for survival. The last time we saw these characters, the air was already heavy with tension. Families stood divided, whispers of betrayal spread like wildfire, and bonds that once seemed unbreakable began to show cracks. Episode 2 gave us hints of the storm to come, a storm that now, in Episode 3, seems ready to break open without mercy. In just a few short moments of this new trailer, we're reminded that every choice in this world carries a price. Some are paid in blood, others in love, and sometimes, both. The trailer doesn't waste time. It opens on a shot that feels like the calm before a devastating storm, the sky dim, the wind restless, and a single figure standing in the distance. We don't hear their words at first. Instead, we see their expression, a mixture of fear and determination. That choice to show emotion before dialogue is a powerful one. It sets the stage for everything that follows. It tells us this episode isn't just about action. It's about the weight of every decision, the cost of every path taken. From there, we're given quick flashes, a heated conversation by candlelight, hands gripping tightly as if holding on for dear life, the glint of steel in the dark. Each shot lasts only a second, but together they build a rhythm. You can feel the stakes rising with each cut, as if the show is warning us. Pay attention, because every detail matters. Even the smallest gesture might hold the key to what comes next. One of the most striking moments early in the trailer is a brief scene of two characters standing in silence across a table. No words, just the sound of the fire crackling in the background. Their eyes lock, and there's a mix of longing and mistrust between them. It's a reminder that in Outlander, Blood of My Blood, love is rarely simple, and loyalty is never free. The trailer doesn't need to tell us exactly what's at stake. It lets us feel it. We also catch glimpses of the larger world outside these personal battles. A group of riders crosses a misty field at dawn. Soldiers march under tattered banners. The sound design here is key. The soft thud of hooves, the distant beat of a drum, creating a sense of both beauty and threat. It's as if the land itself is holding its breath, waiting for the clash to come. These are the kind of atmospheric touches that Outlander has always done so well, grounding intimate human drama in a world that feels alive and unpredictable. Then there's a shot that might be the most telling of all. A close-up of an old letter, being sealed with wax. The camera lingers just long enough for us to see the sender's trembling hands. Who is the letter for? What truth is it carrying? In a story like this, a simple piece of paper could change everything. The choice to end this early section of the trailer with something so quiet, after building such tension, is deliberate. It leaves us wondering not just what is coming, but when it will strike. By the time this first part of the trailer fades to black, the audience is left with a sense of unease. We've seen enough to know that Episode 3 will test every relationship and push every character to their limit. But we've also been reminded that sometimes, the most dangerous battles are fought not on the field, but in the heart. And that's where Outlander, Blood of My Blood, truly thrives, in the moments where love and duty collide, and no one can walk away unchanged. The middle of the trailer wastes no time. It dives headfirst into the kind of moments that make your pulse race, not because they're loud, but because you know they mean something. We start with a tense confrontation in what looks like the Great Hall. The light is dim, the fire flickers low, and two figures stand at opposite ends of the room. Their voices aren't raised, but every word feels like a blade. The camera cuts between them, a hand gripping the edge of a table, the twitch of a jaw, the narrowing of eyes. It's a duel, not of swords, but of wills. And it's clear that neither side is ready to yield. Then, without warning, we're thrown into a burst of action. A group of riders charges through the forest, the camera weaving between the trees as branches whip past. You can almost hear the thundering of hooves and the frantic breathing of the horses. The quick cuts make it impossible to tell exactly who's chasing whom, or why, but that's the point. The trailer doesn't want to give away the answers. It wants to make you lean in, to try and piece the puzzle together. After the chaos, the mood shifts again. We see two characters meeting in secret, tucked away in a quiet corner of what might be a stone corridor. Their voices are hushed, their faces lit by the warm glow of a single lantern. The exchange is brief, but the tension is unmistakable. One character presses something small into the other's hand. Maybe a token, maybe a message. The camera never lets us see it clearly. And that mystery lingers long after the shot ends. Asterisk, one of the trailer's most emotionally charged moments comes next. It's a close-up of a tear-streaked face, lit by firelight. The characters' lips tremble as if they're about to speak, but they don't. The silence speaks louder than any words could. Moments like this remind us why Outlander resonates so deeply with fans. It's not just about battles and politics, but about the raw, unguarded moments between them. Asterisk, but just as we're settling into that intimacy, the trailer cuts to a darker tone. We see a shadow moving across a wall, slow and deliberate, and then the glint of a blade in the dark. There's a muffled sound, footsteps, maybe, or the creak of a door. These shots are so quick, so fragmented, that they feel almost like flashes of memory. They raise the kind of questions that make you want to watch the trailer again. Frame by frame. Asterisk, and then comes one of the most striking visuals of the entire preview, a battlefield at dawn. The fog clings to the ground, and in the distance, we see figures emerging, blurred and ghost-like. It's impossible to tell if they're allies or enemies, but the slow, steady rhythm of the drums tells us they're bringing something heavy with them. The camera pulls focus to a single figure, in the foreground, standing alone, watching the approach. There's no fear in their face, just grim acceptance. It's the look of someone who knows that whatever happens next, there's no turning back. Asterisk, the section closes with a rapid montage, hands locking together, a door slamming shut, a candle being snuffed out, and finally, a single drop of blood hitting the snow. That last image lingers for a moment before the screen cuts to black. It's the kind of ending that doesn't just make you curious, it makes you need to know what comes next. Asterisk, by the time this middle section of the trailer is over, you realize something important. This episode isn't going to give its characters the luxury of safety. Every shot suggests that choices will have to be made quickly, and the cost will be high. Whether that cost is paid in loyalty, in freedom, or in life itself. That's the mystery Episode 3 promises to unfold. Asterisk, every frame of the Episode 3 trailer feels soaked in meaning. This isn't just another chapter in the story. It's the turning point where loyalties are tested. Promises are broken, and love is stretched to its breaking point. At its heart, the trailer seems to be asking one question: how far will you go for the people you love? And what will it cost you? Asterisk, one of the strongest themes in these glimpses is loyalty versus survival. The long stare across the Great Hall, the secret meeting in the stone corridor, the letter sealed with trembling hands, all of these moments carry the weight of difficult choices. You can almost feel the characters calculating their next move, weighing the risks against the bonds that tie them. In this world, loyalty is rarely rewarded, and betrayal is often the only way to stay alive. That moral tightrope is what makes the stakes so gripping and so human. Asterisk, the second theme woven through the trailer is the legacy of blood. Not just blood in the sense of violence, but in the sense of lineage, family, and the burdens we inherit from those who came before us. The title itself, Blood of My Blood, takes on deeper meaning when you see the quiet moments between characters. The shared glances that hint at old wounds and unspoken history. The battlefield shots don't just represent political conflict, they're visual echoes of past struggles, suggesting that the characters are trapped in cycles that began long before they were born. Asterisk, there's also a strong thread of sacrifice running through the imagery, the tear-streaked face lit by firelight, the lone figure standing as the fog parts to reveal approaching soldiers. These aren't the faces of people who expect a happy ending, they're the faces of people who know they might have to give something up, maybe even their lives to protect what they believe in. And in Outlander, sacrifice rarely comes without pain. Asterisk, visually, the trailer uses contrasts to highlight these themes: warm candlelight against cold steel, a lover's touch cut against the sound of distant drums, the stillness of a quiet room interrupted by the rush of galloping horses. Each contrast serves to remind us that in this world, peace and danger exist side by side, and can shift in the blink of an eye. It's not just about what happens, it's about how quickly it can all change. Even the smallest details hint at the stakes ahead. That drop of blood hitting the snow isn't just a striking image, it's a metaphor for innocence lost, for purity stained by violence. The sealing of the letter isn't just a practical act, it's the closing off of a truth that might never be spoken aloud. The glint of a blade in the dark isn't just a promise of violence, it's a reminder that in Outlander, danger often hides in plain sight, waiting for the right moment to strike. Asterisk, the music in the trailer plays a huge role in building this sense of inevitability. It starts soft, a single, haunting note, and then layers in drums, strings, and finally a low, steady rhythm that feels like a heartbeat. That heartbeat builds through the montage until it stops abruptly at the cut to black. It's as if the trailer itself is holding its breath, daring us to imagine what comes next. Asterisk, what's most impressive is that the trailer manages to do all this without spelling anything out. It doesn't tell us who will live, who will die, or who will betray whom. Instead, it gives us fragments enough to spark 100 theories, enough to make the wait for episode 3 feel almost unbearable. Because if the themes we're seeing are any indication, the next episode isn't just about moving the story forward, it's about changing it forever. Asterisk, episode 3 looks ready to pull every character into choices that can't be undone. And when the dust settles, the question won't just be who won or lost, it will be who they've become in the process. In Outlander, victory often comes at a cost. And from the look of this trailer, the cost this time might be higher than ever before. Asterisk, now comes the fun part, taking what we've seen in the episode 3 trailer and asking the questions that every Outlander fan is secretly turning over in their mind, because the trailer doesn't just show us events, it drops hints like breadcrumbs, daring us to follow the trail. And if you look closely, some of those hints might point toward the biggest twists of the season so far. Asterisk, let's start with that sealed letter. We saw the wax melt, the trembling hand, and the deliberate press of a signet ring. But who's it for? The secrecy around it suggests that the letter isn't meant for everyone's eyes. Could it be a plea for help? A confession of betrayal? Or perhaps a warning sent to someone across enemy lines? In the world of Outlander, a letter can be as deadly as a blade, carrying truths that could unravel alliances or spark new wars. Asterisk, then, there's the shadow with the blade. This moment is so quick you could miss it if you blink. It could be an assassin moving in the dark, or it could be a loyal friend forced into an unthinkable act. The ambiguity is key here. The trailer wants us to question every character's motives. Is the shadowed figure a hero, a villain, or something in between? Asterisk, another moment that begs for speculation is the battlefield at dawn. We see the fog, the approaching figures, and the Lone Watcher, but the fact that the trailer doesn't show the clash itself is telling. Maybe the battle isn't the real story. Maybe the real turning point is what happens just before or just after. Could a truce be broken in a heartbeat? Could a planned attack turn into an unexpected rescue? Asterisk, the tear-streaked face by firelight is another puzzle. Who or what are they mourning? The lack of dialogue forces us to read every flicker of emotion. It could be grief for a fallen ally, guilt over a betrayal, or even the heartbreak of choosing one duty over another. In a show like Outlander, emotions are often tied to the political stakes, so this moment could have ripple effects far beyond the personal. Asterisk, and let's not ignore that drop of blood in the snow. It's too deliberate to be random. Blood on snow is a striking contrast, life against cold, purity against violence. Could it be the aftermath of a duel? A secret killing, in the dead of night? Or is it symbolic, foreshadowing a major loss before the season's midpoint? The showrunners know their audience. They've left this as a visual riddle, and we're meant to stew over it until the episode airs. Asterisk, there's also the question of alliances. The quick cuts of candlelit talks, the silent stare across the Great Hall, and the passing of a hidden object all suggest that episode 3 will feature deals struck in secrecy. But the bigger question is, who's actually telling the truth? It's possible that some characters are playing both sides, feeding information where it suits them, and holding back when it doesn't. This would fit perfectly with the season's themes of loyalty and survival. Asterisk, one theory that's already buzzing in fan circles is that episode 3 might reveal a hidden family connection, a blood tie that changes everything. The trailer's title and focus on lineage give weight to this idea. Imagine the shock if an enemy turns out to share the same bloodline as a main character, or if an ally's loyalty comes from a deeper, more personal bond than we knew. Asterisk, of course, the trailer also leaves us with the possibility that none of our guesses are right. Outlander has a way of twisting expectations, setting us up for one outcome and delivering another. That's why fans will watch this trailer over and over, looking for details they missed, a glance, a symbol, a shift in the music, anything that might crack the code. Asterisk, what's certain is that episode 3 is poised to be one of the most emotionally charged episodes yet. The themes of love, betrayal, sacrifice, and legacy are all colliding, and the trailer makes it clear. not everyone, will make it through unchanged? The real question is, when the dust settles, will the blood that binds these characters together be enough to keep them from tearing each other apart? Asterisk, and that's where I'll leave it for now because half the fun is in the guessing. Every moment we've broken down here could be the key to the next twist, or it could be a clever misdirection designed to keep us looking the wrong way. Either way, episode 3 is coming, and when it does, we'll finally see just how many of these questions have answers, and how many are only the beginning. Asterisk.